Oh, show. I would just like to, just talk about different random things. And, um, there was I guess it was a lady. I'm not for sure. I was assuming it was a lady. I'm probably wrong about that. But anyway, it just made me think of something. Hold on. Anyway, for instance, about Hebrew. Now, a lot of us know different little things about Hebrew, little bits here and there. And you can pick up a study Bible, you might get different things, or maybe a textbook here or there, but see, the funny thing is, if we're not careful, we catch ourselves finding ourselves in a position thinking we know Hebrew when we don't. The only way you're going to know Hebrew is if you study it like a second language, and you got to really get into that. I mean, and so many people, they don't have no, like the ones, now if people who would, like, say for instance, are Jewish and who have studied the roots and things, studied the language and stuff, well, naturally they know Hebrew, okay? Or those who lived over there in Israel that where they need to know the language and stuff, they study it when they learn it. But some of them just learn the language, but they haven't learned enough of it, fully. But they have learned enough to be able to speak the language. Okay, for those people who just learn to speak the language, well, okay, there you go again. They have learned the language, how to speak it, but that doesn't qualify necessarily that person fully knows Hebrew. There is Hebrew, and then there's ancient Hebrew. Okay, a lot of people forget that your Bible was translated from ancient Hebrew. So, people think, well, I know all this, I know this, and this is what it means. It's kind of like, you only know a little bit, and you're twisting it. You got to know what it's talking about. So, oh, sorry about that. It's a little weather thing. It comes on and makes little sound effects and stuff. But anyway, we need to know what we're talking about. That's my point. Before we say that we know something like we're some kind of foremost authority. Now, I myself don't go around and kid myself that I'm some kind of foremost authority on anything. I know, a lot of times our pride will get in the way, and it's not about our pride, okay? We end up unaware, catch ourselves trying to be this know-it-all, and we're not. I know that I am not a know-it-all, but what I do know is just what I know, and that's about it. I'm not this person who has this doctorate degree. Of course, to me, I have about as much faith in a doctorate degree as I do there with little pink pigs flying around in the sky. But see, people veer off of things, and they allow their flesh and other things to distract them. So, gotta keep our eyes focused on the Lord and know what's the truth. Okay. Also, I want to sit there and talk about, reaching out and helping people. Yes. Now, have you ever seen how many homeless shelters and stuff makes people fill out papers? They'll make them fill out papers and give them 20,000 questions. Oh yeah, I could really see that back during the time of Jesus, and especially the apostles, going around and having everybody fill out a questionnaire, and then make them a promise to come to church in order to get help. Now that's foolish. And some people, they just don't want to go, well, I would, but, they got other people for doing that, so I'll give to them and they can do it. Well, no. You're supposed to do something. Okay, even if it's getting your church together to do it, do something. Not relying on some organization who makes people fill out papers and put conditions on people. You gotta come to church, or you put pressure on people, and. Okay, let's like for example, you go down to the park. You could set up something there and make sure that the homeless people someplace around where they could uh, know that there's this food, and you could feed them if you so desire, if you want to do something. Uh, and just knowing that they can't pay you back, and that's reward there enough, just, or if they need clothes or anything, you name it, just follow what the Lord told us to do. Gotta reach out, gotta reach out and help everyone, our neighbor, our brothers and sisters. If you lend something to somebody, are you expecting to get paid back? That's not right. You lend to somebody and just leave it like that. Either they will pay you back or they won't. And you still love them nevertheless, and you won't think any less of them when they don't pay you back. Or if they borrowed something and they didn't pay it, that you gripe and fuss because you didn't get it back. It's kind of like, are you worried more over that thing than their souls? Questions we got to start asking ourselves, We got to take a good look at our lives. And when people curse you to your face, or even hit you, are you going to retaliate and hit them back and stuff? And show the love of Jesus that way? It don't work that way. See, our flesh gets us in more trouble than anything. We got to rise up above that. And a lot of times, let's face it, almost all the time, it's a fact that we need God's help. We need His help. And He can help us. Got to ask Him and trust Him that He'll be there to help you. Okay? And have you ever stopped to think about all the times that on YouTube that most of the arguments is about trying to prove who's right and who's wrong? You ever notice that? I mean, observation-wise, you've watched that? Let us not become that way, because if we do, what's that saying about us? And what's that saying about the condition of our souls? We shouldn't be arguing and fussing, trying to prove that I'm right, you're wrong, and trying to be something you're not. I mean, we got to watch what we do, and we need to, if you're trying to prove you're right, you need to stop and think, see what you're doing, and if you're guilty of this, you need to ask that one person to forgive you, and ask the Lord to forgive you, and ask the Lord to help you be aware of what you're doing, and to watch what you're doing and help you not to get caught in that. Alright, that's my little FYI, my little few cents worth there, just talking, so, let's talk. Alright, God bless you, shalom, and ha-ho.